You need video versions of your demos.
You're a voice actor. You're an entrepreneur. You're a VOPRENEUR. Welcome to the Everyday VOpreneur podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover.
Having your voiceover demos easily playable and downloadable on your website is essential. The VoiceZam player lets you do that across any device and browser. There are also options for adding play buttons in your email signature, tracking your listens, and even putting videos in your demo player. Sign up now at voicezam.com/MarkScott and receive an instant $25 credit. For full details and to claim this offer, visit voicezam.com/MarkScott.
The VOPRENEUR podcast. Hey, it doesn't suck.
Not as funny as Conan. Not as cute as Seth Meyers. Not as smart as Colbert. But he's one of us, and that counts for something. Here's Mark Scott, the original Everyday VOpreneur.
Hello and welcome to the Everyday VOpreneur podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover. I'm Mark Scott, the original Everyday VOpreneur, back with another summer series episode, ready to give you some actionable, practical advice in a short, quick hit format so that you can get back to doing the things that you're enjoying over the summer. But I also want to let you know that I'll be returning to interviews in September, and I've already got some great stuff lined up for you. Now, just before we get into this week's episode, I want to remind you that Voiceover Marketing Playbook is coming very soon, September 6th through the 15th, 2022. If you struggle with voiceover marketing, this course is going to give you all of the information as well as the strategies and tactics you need in order to become a more confident and effective marketer for your voiceover business. Watch for it again September 6th through the 15th, 2022, and details will be available at voiceovermarketingplaybook.com. That's voiceovermarketingplaybook.com. So let's talk about video versions of your demos. This is something that maybe you've heard me talk about in the past, but maybe you're not sure why, or maybe you're not sure how, and so I want to address both of those things in this particular issue. So first, let's start with the why. Why do you need video versions of your demos? Well, here's a couple of reasons that I think will answer that question for you. YouTube is the second largest search engine on the internet, and also one of the most visited websites on the internet. There are about 1.7 billion, that's with a B, unique monthly visitors on YouTube. And get this, 694,000 hours of video are streamed each minute on YouTube. Try to wrap your brain around that. That just blows my mind. So what does this mean to you as a voice actor? It means there are a lot of people giving a lot of time and a lot of attention to content on YouTube. And if your voiceover demos aren't on YouTube, you're potentially missing out on opportunities. It's just one more place where you can put yourself where people can hear you. That's just YouTube, though. We know that there are other social media platforms that certainly take advantage of video and certainly prioritize video. LinkedIn is another great example. LinkedIn, in the last year or so in particular, has really started putting a push on video. And I believe that the algorithm gives video posts a little bit more extra love, which means that you get a little bit more extra engagement. In fact, statistics show that video on LinkedIn gets, on average, 5 times more comments and 3 times the overall engagement versus a regular text post, which means more people are paying attention, more people are engaging, more people are watching, and that is good news for the content that you're sharing on LinkedIn. Here's another one for you. 87% of LinkedIn video marketers say it's been an effective channel for them. So people who use video as part of their daily marketing strategy already, 87% of them are saying, yep, LinkedIn works. Video works on LinkedIn. So another great place where you would ultimately be able to share video versions of your demos. And that doesn't even go into other social media platforms like Instagram. What's going on with Instagram right now? At the time that this episode is being recorded in early August of 2020, Instagram is becoming a video platform, whether we like it or not. Meta, the parent company, has already said this is coming. This is where we're going. This is the direction that the channel is going to take. So Instagram is going to focus even more on video than it has in the past, which means there's another opportunity for you to share your demo. Of course, we are all familiar with TikTok and all of the amazing things happening on TikTok. And I think it stands to reason that that could become a platform where you could share video versions of your demos. So by and large, what you're doing is you're creating another form of content. When you're talking about social media platforms that tend to be more visual as a medium, just simply posting a link to a voice sampler or to some other form of audio file, it may not be as effective. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. Of course, do it. It should always be part of your strategy. I'm saying let's bring video into the mix as well so that we're engaging with a different type of audience and somebody who's looking for a different type of content. So that's the why. We understand that there's value in creating video because all of these social media platforms are giving so much love and attention to video, and we want to be a part of the second largest search engine on the internet, which is YouTube. So that brings us to the how. Here's the good news. You do not have to be a professional video editor in order to create a video version of your demo. Now, I've created some fairly basic video versions of my demos that I have been using for years, and I create them in Final Cut Pro. Now, not everybody has Final Cut Pro, and I understand that. And I will put a link to a video version of my demo in the show notes. So if you want to check out what I've created just as a sample, I'm not saying it's the be all end all. I'm just saying it was a simple video that works and it serves the purpose that I need it to serve. So it can give you an idea of a direction that you could head in. But again, I've created mine in Final Cut Pro, but if you don't have Final Cut Pro, not to worry, there are other options that are out there. Now, just before we get into the technical side of things, I think there's two different ways that you can approach the video version of your demo. Version number one is what I have done, and you can see that by looking at what I've done. It's basically a static background, right? It's a picture of me. There is a little bit of motion in the background, I guess, so it's not static per se, but it's basically a screenshot, and I have a testimonial that comes in and then moves out, and then I have a text that moves in that talks a little bit about my service and then moves out. And so it's very basic in that regard. There's not a lot of fancy visuals, and my thought process was, I don't want people to get so caught up in the visuals that they stop paying attention to the narration. The other side of the coin is to actually create a full-blown video version of your demo using stock video footage that you can get from different places online. And so your demo actually starts to look like commercials that have been put together, or narrations that have been put together, or e-learning courses that have been created, or whatever. That obviously is the more complex version. That is the version where if you're not a video editor, you might need to hire a video editor to do that for you. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how much this is going to cost, but based on a little bit of research I've done, I think you could probably spend anywhere from a couple $100s right up to about $1,500 to have somebody create a professional video version of your demo. So let's just say that you've got an automotive demo that you've done with Cliff Zellman and you're really super proud of it, and you want to turn that into a video version that looks like actual car commercials that you would see on TV. You would have to get somebody that has access to stock photography, or stock video footage rather, of those different types of automobiles so that you can piece all of that together. That's where you might end up spending a little bit more money if you're not a video editor. But all that aside, let's say you want to create a free, basic video version of your demo just to get you into some of these platforms. Maybe you graduate to something fancier down the road. That's fine too. This is where Headliner comes in. Write this URL down. You maybe heard me talk about it before, headliner.app. It's just headliner.app, headliner.app. What can you do with Headliner? On a free plan, you are entitled to 5 videos per month. Now, you can do unlimited videos if you don't mind having a watermarked logo on your video, but 5 free videos per month, which, if you're creating video versions of your demos, for many of you, that's probably doable. Even if you have to create a couple now and then create a couple the following month, right? Not a big deal, but 5 free videos per month. The videos are in 1080p HD resolution, so that's high definition. It's going to look great on YouTube or any of these other social media platforms. You also get 10 minutes of transcription on a free account. And one of the things that I really like about Headliner, and one of the things that drew me to it, and I've used it for many video versions of my demos, it gives you animated waveforms. And that is a visual that really does grab people's attention. So if you're scrolling through social media, you've probably noticed in Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, even on Twitter, the audio doesn't play automatically. The video starts automatically, but the audio doesn't play automatically. That's where a transcription and/or the waveform can come in really handy because it triggers people to let them know, oh, there's something I should be listening to here, and then they turn the volume on. So that's one of the reasons why I really like the waveforms on Headliner. I also think it's just really fitting for creating a video version of a voiceover demo. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. Now, with Headliner, you can export videos in different sizes as well, based on the platform that you're sharing to. So, it lets you do square, it lets you do landscape, it lets you do portrait. Landscape is what you would see on a YouTube, for example, whereas a portrait video would be what you would see on Instagram Reels, for example. And it also gives you the ability to do some basic text animation. So if your excuse up to this point for not having a video version of your demo is that you don't know how to create it, or you don't have the software to create it, or you don't have the money to invest in the software to create it, we've now successfully removed all of those excuses with Headliner. Headliner.app. And just to be clear, I am not an affiliate. I do not have any deals with them. It's just a great tool that I discovered a number of years ago, and it's one of the tools that I have been using to create video versions of my demos for years. Other things that you could look at if you are on a PC, Windows Movie Maker. If you are on a Mac, you could create basic video versions of your demos with iMovie. And you could look for some royalty-free stock video footage like motion backgrounds and things of that nature, just to add a little bit more flair. Or if you are subscribed to Adobe, you're a Creative Cloud member, depending on the subscription level that you pay at, you might have access to Adobe Premiere, which is Adobe's video editing software. And so that might be something to look at as well. So there's a lot of different tools that are out there that allow you to do this. Although, again, Headliner, a pretty basic, pretty user-friendly system that allows you to create video for free. And that's the most important thing here, is I want to remove the excuses so that this is something that you will do. So if you've never thought about it before, or if you thought that it was something you just couldn't do, now you should be thinking about it, and you should know that you can. I would definitely prioritize creating video versions of your demos, because these are going to be great content pieces for you to use all across social media, not only to create higher engagement and to get more people listening to your demos, but also to make sure that you're getting indexed in all of these different social media platforms, which at the end of the day, they're not just social media platforms, they're also giant search engines as well. Have fun creating the video version of your demo. When you do it, let me know. When you post that video version of your demo to Instagram, post it in your stories or in your regular Instagram feed. Why don't you tag me and let me know so I could check it out and see what you've come up with. Tag me at Mark Scott. I'm looking forward to seeing the video versions of the demos that you come up with. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging out. Want more VOpreneur goodness? Jump online at VOPRENEUR.com.